18th Sunday in Ordinary Time, Cycle C. The community's action in solidarity and Association Jesus Solidarity are inviting you to listen to the Living Gospel for August 3, Luke chapter 12, verses 13 to 21, with commentary from Father Patxi Loidi in the voice of Chi Liquicia. Proclamation of the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke. Someone in the crowd said to him, "Teacher, tell my brother to share the inheritance with me." He replied to him, "Friend, who appointed me as your judge and arbitrator?" Then he said to the crowd, "Take care to guard against all greed, for though one may be rich, one's life does not consist of possessions." Then he told them a parable. There was a rich man whose land produced a bountiful harvest. He asked himself, "What shall I do? For I do not have space to store my harvest." And he said, "This is what I shall do. I shall tear down my barns and build larger ones. There I shall store all my grain and other goods. And I shall say to myself, now as for you, you have so many goods stored up for many years. Rest, eat, drink, be merry." But God said to him, "You fool, this night your life will be demanded of you. And the things you have prepared, to whom will they belong? Thus it will be for all who store up treasures for themselves but are not rich in what matters to God." The Word of God. Father Patxi's commentary. Best regards, friends. Today's Gospel is a short parable and its message is simple and resounding. The man who had a bountiful harvest and stored enormous wealth died the next day. And it concludes with, "Get rich with the wealth of God." Great message for our world. There will be those who will ask themselves, "Can't I get rich both ways?" It's what certain groups and people are currently seeking. But Jesus himself warned us that we cannot serve two masters, God and riches. And why is this so? For several reasons. Because wealth takes away the freedom that Jesus brought us. Because wealth can make us unjust people, even though we have earned our assets legally. Since God does not want what is happening in our world, people full of riches and people living in misery. Because they prevent good social coexistence, since these tremendous inequalities are violent and create violence. And because great inequalities kill, they produce more deaths than wars, as statistics have proven. These are powerful reasons. The Second Vatican Council makes the following denunciation. While an immense number of people still lack the absolute necessities of life, some, even in less advanced areas, live in luxury or squander wealth. Extravagance and wretchedness exist side by side. While a few enjoy very great power of choice, the majority are deprived of almost all possibility of acting on their own initiative and responsibility, and often subsist in living in working conditions unworthy of the human person. Many reforms in the socio-economic realm and a change of mentality and attitude are required of all. St. Ambrose in the 4th century said, "What you give to the poor is not part of your goods. What you give belongs to them. Because what has been given for the use of all, you appropriate it. The earth has been given to the whole world and not just to the rich." To these complaints, we could add a basic statement about human rights. Every human being, by the mere fact of being a person, has the right to a dignified life, with everything necessary for him and his children. But the Lord is not opposed to production or national wealth. What he wants is that we acquire the treasures of God, the first of which is social justice. And he calls that man foolish, who accumulated riches of this world instead of accumulating the riches of God. Not all accumulators die the next day, but they certainly die soon. Together with the treasures of God, Jesus invites us to acquire the wisdom of God. Prayer. Mental hospital. Jesus, if that man was a fool, isn't then our world a vast asylum? An asylum of thieves and well-dressed thugs? As if the world was the property of the first to arrive. You fools, you will not take anything. Oak trees look towards the sky, searching for justice and mercy. How many non-foolish people are there in the world, Lord? You came to teach us to be wise before God. Where are the wise people hiding? Are they with those who are dying of hunger? But your Father does not want poverty. Didn't he create the land for everyone? The willows cry because they want to belong to everyone. Perhaps wisdom consists in a dignified and solitary poverty that announces your gospel. But who believes in this bliss? You don't get discouraged. With a handful of believers, we will ferment the whole mass.